Hi, this is John at Faith 101. This isn't really a Christian video. This is about the recent election in America between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton and the reaction a lot of people are having to it. Now, Hillary Clinton, in a few days, it's going to be declared that she'll have won the popular vote by perhaps as many as 2 million votes. And so a lot of people are saying we need to get rid of the Electoral College, because the Electoral College is a way of disproportionately allocating votes to different people in different parts of the country. And I voted for Hillary Clinton. Am I upset that she lost? Yes, I think Donald Trump is going to be a bad president, but I fully support the Electoral College, and I just thought this might be an interesting way of having a slightly different perspective on things. So, when America was founded in the Industrial Revolution, there was this real philosophical challenge that they had, not just between representing people from different parts of the country, but representing people who lived in an agrarian society and people who lived in an urban society. And what they decided, they made a genuine, definite decision to allocate some disproportional power to people living in agrarian societies. So people who lived where there's very little population density, they live a very different kind of life. People who founded America decided that there was something about that which was worth preserving. And so they created the House of Representatives, which is purely proportional representation. They created the Senate, which is unbelievably disproportionate. A senator in California, for instance, represents about 15 million people. A senator in Wyoming represents, 100-something thousand people. It's massively out of proportion. And so when they decided how the president was going to be elected, they decided to combine these systems. The genuinely proportional and the massively disproportional, because they felt that there was this important thing about keeping this balance between urban and rural. And that's really the founding philosophy behind the relationship of the two branches of the legislature and the reason for the Electoral College. Now, the people say, it's not fair! I think this is important. Get the word fair out of your head, because the word fair actually moves. So if you think about it right now, the people who want to get elected have to go around to lots of different states, and the states they have to go to are the states where there's a likelihood of there being what's called a swing between Democrat and Republican. So, Florida is always there. The Midwest is usually there, Ohio, Pennsylvania, states like that. These are states that do vote for different people. And, as someone from California, I could say, it's not fair, because the Democrats always win California. My vote counts for very little, actually. For those of you who think it's really unfair the way the Electoral College works, imagine the opposite situation. So it's just purely a popular vote. How does that look? Well, how are you going to campaign? You're obviously never going to go to, for instance, New Hampshire, where the first primary is. You don't need New Hampshire particularly. You're not going to go to Iowa, where the first caucus is, because you don't need Iowa. You're going to spend your time where there are massive urban populations. You're going to spend a huge amount of time in the Northeast, where the country has its greatest population density. You're going to spend lots of time in New Jersey, trying to please the people of New Jersey, New York. You're going to go to Massachusetts. You're going to go to Rhode Island. You're going to go to Connecticut. You're going to go to places where people are really close together, where if you can convince all of these people that your ideas are good for them, they will vote for you. So that's where you're going to go. You're going to go to Chicago. You're going to go to southern Florida. You're going to go to the San Francisco Bay Area. You're going to go to Southern California, that sort of strip from Los Angeles to San Diego. You're going to go to where the most voters are. Between the Appalachian Mountains and the Rocky Mountains, you're going to spend almost no time. There's going to be this huge geographic swathe of people that you're just not going to care about. Why on earth would you go to a state like Wyoming where there's only a couple 100,000 people? You don't need them. If you can win, a third of the vote of San Francisco, that's more than there are voters in Wyoming. So what's going to happen is you're going to go around and you're just going to try to please urban voters. So your message is going to be to win their votes. And the people who live in the country, in rural areas, who are part of agrarian society, are going to be completely left out. Now, you might say, well, that's fair, because one vote is one vote. The effect of that could be horrendous. So, if we have completely free trade, and we decide that that's a good thing, and we decide we don't care about farmers, then agricultural subsidies that happen will stop happening. And the American farming industry will have serious problems. There's lots of controversies around subsidies, but the fact is that the government, because of this need to please rural agrarian society, gives things to farmers to help prop up the American farming industry. Now, if that industry was to collapse, that could have catastrophic consequences for the US standard of living, for our ability to feed ourselves, for the entire culture of a massive geographic swathe of the country. So, were that to happen, and we were to go to a purely popular vote, everyone between the Appalachian Mountains and the Rocky Mountains would say, that's not fair! And they'd be right. And that's really important. So, the argument of this is fair or that's not fair, really what you have to remember is none of it's going to be fair. There is no genuinely fair way to represent people across cultural, socio-demographic lines. You just can't do it. So what you have to do is you have to choose a messed up system of one kind or another. As Winston Churchill said, is this a great form of government? No, but it's better than all the others that have happened.